Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am just Mike. You are watching and you are listening to episode number 69 of The Rock Out Wild Show, where it is not just a show, it is a way of life. Now, if you are new to this video, if you are new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below this very video. You could also like or dislike this episode of The Rock Out Wild Show. You could also share it on all of your social media platforms, from your Facebook to your YouTube to your X to your Instagram, what have you. Share this episode of the Rock Out Wild Show and tell everyone you know about this variety program, from your family to your friends to your coworkers to your acquaintances. Let everyone know what the Rock Out Wild Show is all about. I am your host, just Mike. As you see from the title of this video, I'll be going over an article on the 20 best practices for professional email etiquette. And this was from Indeed.com, and this was uploaded just a few months ago. So I will be going over that. Also, we're going to take a look at on this day in film, movies, television, wrestling, and music for May the 20th. The 20th, I should say. But to kick things off for episode number 69, I'm going to react to an old movie review of mine, a movie called Chappie. So what I'm going to do is open up the webcam and say hello to everyone watching this episode right now. So let's get right to it. Now, before I react to this review, I'm going to predict that I gave Chappie maybe about 61 points out of 100. That's just an estimate. I don't remember much about this movie, but that's my prediction right now. So let's get this to it. So let's present, share screen. Make sure the audio's on, and let's go to the review. And let's react. Oh, and let's go full screen. Make sure the audio is up here. Let's react in 3, 2, 1, action.
What went wrong here?
Great.
What's up, all movie fans in the movieverse? Welcome to the Mike McRock Movie Review Show. Right now I'm going to review a movie called Chappie. And what happens in this movie is that in the near future, crime is patrolled by a mechanized police force. When one police droid, who turns out to be named Chappie, is stolen and given new programming, and now he has become the first robot with the ability to think and feel for himself. And this movie stars Shartul Copley, Dev Patel, Ninja, Yolanda, Hugh Jackman, and Sigourney Weaver. And going into this movie, this movie actually looked promising. I was really looking forward to this movie. I thought that this movie was going to be about Dev Patel's character, who's the maker of Chappie, and his relationship with Chappie, and in the step process of him becoming more human and all that. Instead, we get a huge letdown and a terrible disappointment. What we got was Chappie hanging around with these bunch of criminal idiots that you don't care about at all.
Oh, great.
And these are played by Ninja and Yolanda, and for some reason, they're in this movie more than anyone else in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
Like I said, what a terrible disappointment this movie was. So in this movie, you have Chappie, he's trying to learn the ropes of being a bad guy and a criminal, and you kind of really don't care about Chappie's character at this point. You don't care about Ninja and Yolanda. Apparently, they're in this band, this South Johannesburg band, that I don't understand the music that they do. I think they were trying to cheap plug their music.
Right, yeah.
Which I was thinking, why focus on that when you should be focusing on the story, even the story itself? Like I said, going into it, I thought it was going to be about the maker and the robot and their relationship, and instead we get this.
Yeah, really.
You get criminals that you don't care about in this movie, and you have Chappie hanging around with them. You start to not care about Chappie
Right.
because he's starting to stealing cars and getting himself involved with heists with these criminals.
Hmm.
I mean, I was rooting for Hugh Jackman, and he was the villain in this movie for him to blow up these guys. And
Oh,
when you
damn.
have a villain in the movie you're rooting for, there lies a problem. You're
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be
agree.
rooting for the good guy and not the bad guy in
Yep,
this movie.
that's the way it should be.
There's just so many levels of dynamics that are really, really off with this movie that I just did not care at all. Even Sigourney Weaver, what a wasted opportunity here for Sigourney Weaver. She's not in this movie at all, only for a few seconds, and then that's it.
Oh my
Even
god.
Hugh Jackman, what a waste. I mean, I really feel sorry for him. I think it's because he's in so many action movies where he's either Wolverine
Yep.
or in the X-Men series. I mean,
Yep.
any other action movie that he does,
Yep.
you
That's what it
just
is.
can't help but look at Wolverine and what he does, and you see Hugh Jackman in this movie, and you're thinking, there's no star power in this role. Even sometimes he does come across as a good villain, but the character motivations with him, you kind of question why he's doing what he's doing. I guess he's jealous of the main character because, he doesn't have his brains, but that sounds like a lame excuse. And to me, the more I think about this movie, the worse it gets. It's very, very lame. It has
Yep.
a lame story with a lame script
Oh,
and
great.
lazy acting. However,
Oh,
there are a couple of redeeming qualities. I think Shutter Copley as Chappie was pretty good in his role, as well as some of the visual effects in this movie were actually quite good. Some of the action was, not half bad. But just because those elements are good in a movie does not mean that this movie is good. And clearly, this was a bad movie. Do not go see this movie. What a waste
oh
this movie
well.
was, I have to
I
say.
think my score is lower.
Chappie delivered 46
Yep.
points out of
I
100.
figured. 46. There it is.
Just don't bother with this movie. But if you already did see this movie, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below and give me your thoughts about Chappie. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below this video to get McRucked.
Yeah, so that was my old movie review for the movie called Chappie from 10 years ago. And I almost originally wanted to go for 68, not 68, 48 out of 100. Because I wasn't really sure if I liked this back then or not. Clearly, I didn't. Gave it 46 out of 100. It's one of those movies I will never ever watch ever again. Let's move on. So, with that out of the way, let's do the normal things that you normally see when you see a Rock Out Wild show. That is the segment I like to call On This Day. So, I'm going to present, share screen, and let's take a look on the first thing, on the first installment of On This Day for May the 20th. Let's have a look at film and television, shall we? In 1891, first public display of Thomas Edison's prototype kinescope to members of the National Federation of Women's Clubs. In 1895, first commercial movie performance is held at 153 Broadway in New York City. In 1926, Thomas Edison says Americans prefer silent movies over talkies. In 1960, 13th Cannes Film Festival, The Sweet Life, directed by Federico Fellini, wins the Palme d'Or. In 1966, 19th Cannes Film Festival, A Man and a Woman, directed by Claude Lelouch, and The Birds and the Bees and the Italians, directed by Pietro jointly awarded the Grand Prix du Film Festival International du Film. In 1967, BBC bans the Beatles song A Day in the Life due to the line, "I love to turn you on," being constructed as a drug reference. In 1970, The Beatles' Let It Be, a documentary film directed by Michael Lindsay Hogg, premieres at the Liverpool Gaumont Cinema and the London Pavilion. None of the group attended. In 1973, 25th Emmy Awards, The Waltons, All in the Family, and Mary Tyler Moore win. In 1985, 38th Cannes Film Festival, When Father Was Away on Business, directed by Emir Kuchurika, wins the Palme d'Or. Sorry if I mispronounced any of that. In 1986, Christy Fitchner, 23 in Texas, crowned 35th Miss USA. Fitchner. In 1986, Flintstones' 25th anniversary celebration airs on CBS TV. In 1987, wrestler Jerry Lawler sues WWF and Harley Race for trademark name King. In 1989, Toonkas the Cat takes the wheel on Saturday Night Live. In 1991, 44th Cannes Film Festival, Barton Fink, directed by Ethan and Joel Cohen, win the Palme d'Or. 1993, the 274th and final episode of Cheers airs on NBC, where everybody knows their name. In 1994, Nick Sear, The Rice People, directed by Rithi Panna and starring Pang Ping, premieres at the Cannes Film Festival. Also in 94, Sony Theaters and Cineplex, New York City, hike movie ticket prices to $8. Also in 94, Sushmita Sen from India is crowned the 43rd Miss Universe at 18 years old. In 1995, CBS News fires co-anchor Connie Chung. In 1996, 49th Cannes Film Festival, Secrets and Lies, directed by Michael Lee, wins the Palme d'Or. In 2003, reality TV series America's Next Top Model, created by Tyra Banks, debuts on UPN. In 2004, The Notebook. The 2004 cult romantic film The Notebook premieres at the Seattle Film Festival, starring Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, and directed by Mick Cassavetes. That is a movie I have never seen in my life. In 2007, 53rd British Academy Television Awards. Thad Mitchell and Webb Look, Best Comedy, The Street, Best Drama. In 2009, Quentin Tarantino's film Inglourious Basterds premieres at the Cannes Film Festival with an ensemble cast including Brad Pitt, Michael Fassbender, and Diane Kruger. In 2015, David Letterman hosts The Late Show with David Letterman for the last time, ending 33 years in late-night television. In 2023, English ITV This Morning TV presenter Philip Schofield resigns after 20 years in the role. It later emerges he was having an affair with a younger colleague and lied about it. And in 2024, actress Scarlett Johansson says OpenAI tried to hire her voice, and when she refused, created a synthetic voice known as Sky for an update to ChatGPT very similar to hers. I tell you, that AI is taking over the world. I should correct myself. It already has taken over the world, I might add. So those are all the things that happened on this day in the world of film and television for May the 20th. Now let's take a look at what happened on this day, May the 20th, in professional wrestling. As you see there, a picture of the Macho Man himself, Randy Savage. So let's see what happened in years past. In 1974, Bruno Sammartino pins Killer Kowalski in a Texas death match to retain the WWF World Heavyweight title at a house show in Madison Square Garden. In the year 2000, when We Would Make It Up to You, At the ECW Hardcore TV tapings in Columbia, South Carolina, Justin Credible retained the ECW World Heavyweight title against Jerry Lynn. Also, Dusty Rhodes defeated Jack Victory in a bull rope match. In 2001, WWF Judgment Day came from Sacramento, California. In the main event, WWF Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin retained the title against The Undertaker in a no-holds-barred match, and Triple H lost the Intercontinental title to Kane in a chain match. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit showcased another wrestling clinic in a 2 out of 3 falls match with Angle's Olympic medals on the line. Benoit won the first fall in regular singles match. Angle won the second fall by submission with an ankle lock. And Angle retrieved his gold medal to win the contest in a ladder match. Later in the evening, Benoit teamed up with Jericho to win the tag team title turmoil match and became the number 1 contenders for the WWF tag team titles. In Chyna's final appearance in the WWF, she defended the Women's Championship successfully against Lita. In 2002, The Undertaker retained the WWE Undisputed Champion against Rob Van Dam in the main event of WWE Raw from Memphis, Tennessee. In 2007, at WWE Judgment Day from St. Louis, Missouri, WWE Champion John Cena retained the WWE Championship in the main event by making the Great Khali submit. Bobby Lashley defeated the team of Umaga, Vince McMahon, and Shane McMahon in a handicap match for the ECW Championship. However, Lashley did not win the title as he did not pin the ECW title holder Vince McMahon. Also, MVP defeated Chris Benoit for the United States Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and Edge retained the World Heavyweight Championship against Batista. You think you know him. In 2011, Randy Macho Man Savage passed away at the age of 58 in the Seminole, Florida. Savage has suffered a heart attack while driving in his Jeep Wrangler, which tragically collided with a tree. Savage is regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers to have ever lived. During his 32-year career, Savage held 29 championships, including the WWF World title on 2 occasions, which he won at WrestleMania's IV and VII, respectively. He also held the WCW World title on 4 occasions. Savage is also credited in bringing credibility to the WWF Secondary Primary Championship, the Intercontinental title, through his incredible in-ring work, which was displayed in his match with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, which to this day is regarded as one of the greatest matches in the history of the event. In 2012, the third and final Over the Limit WWE pay-per-view took place in Raleigh, North Carolina. John Laurinaitis defeated John Cena in the main event, and Christian defeated Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship. Also, CM Punk retained the WWE Championship against Daniel Bryan, and Sheamus retains the World Heavyweight title in the fatal 4-way match against Alberto Del Dipshit, Chris Jericho, and Randy Orton. In 2015, at NXT TakeOver Unstoppable in Winter Park, Florida, the main event NXT Championship match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ended in a no contest. Sasha Banks retained the NXT Women's title against Becky Lynch. In 2017, Matt Riddle retained the WWN title against Kyle O'Reilly in the main event of Evolve number 84 from Summit, Illinois. In 2017, Pete Dunne defeated Tyler Bates for the WWE United Kingdom Championship at NXT TakeOver Chicago. This was the first title change since the championship's inception in January that year. Bobby Roode retained the NXT Championship against Hideo Itami. Asuka won a triple threat match against Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott to retain the NXT Women's title, and in the main event, the Authors of Pain and Cameron Razor defeated DIY, Gargano and Ciampa to retain the NXT Tag Team titles. After the match, Ciampa viciously attacked Gargano, bringing to an end of the beloved DIY tag team. In 2018, at Progress Chapter 69, no pun intended with the title of this episode, Episode 69. Be Here Now from Manchester, England. Doug Williams won the Progress Atlantis title in a four-way match against Joseph Connors, Rampage Brown, and Rob Lynch, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate lost the handicap match to Flash Morgan, Jimmy Havoc, and Mark Haskins. Also, Travis Banks retained the Progress title against Jack Sexsmith. Let me read that last name again. Sexsmith. And the title of this episode is episode 69. Yeah, just leave it at that. And we got Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Mark Andrews, and Walter pinned David Starr. In the main event, Ginny defeated Toni Storm for the Progress Women's title. In 2019, in the main event of Raw from Albany, New York, the capital city by the Jew, the Universal Champion Seth Rollins and WWE Champion Kofi Kingston defeated Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley in a no disqualification tag team match. And in 2020, Broken Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara in the main event of the go-home edition of AEW Dynamite before the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. We have some birthdays in the world of professional wrestling for May 20th. We got Hakeem, who was born on this day in 1993. Kota Ibushi, who was born on this day in 1982. And the Road Dogg, Brian James, was born on this day, May 20th, 1969. Again, I say, this is episode 69. There's 69s all over this episode. Oh my God. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So those are all the events that happened on this day in wrestling for May the 20th. And for the final thing I'd like to go over for on this day is music for May the 20th. As you see, there is a picture of Adele as she's rolling in the deep. What do we have here in music in years past for May the 20th? Well, on this day, May 20th, 2016, the British phonographic industry announced that UK artists accounted for 1 in every 6 albums sold worldwide. The announcement followed the success of acts like Ed Sheeran, One Direction, Sam Smith, and Adele, whose third album, 25, sold 17.4 million copies in just 6 weeks and broke numerous records around the globe. In 1998, a star-studded funeral was held for legendary singer Frank Sinatra in Beverly Hills. Among the attendees were Tony Bennett, Liza Minnelli, Sophia Loren, Jack Nicholson, and Sinatra's former wife, Mia Farrow. In 2007, Rihanna began a consecutive 10-week run at the top of the UK pop chart with Umbrella featuring Jay-Z. The song, which broke British records for the decade, propelled the Bardashian singer to international superstardom. Across the Atlantic, Umbrella held the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 consecutive weeks. In 2012, 62-year-old singer, songwriter, and Bee Gees co-founder Robin Gibb lost his battle with cancer. Along with his brothers, Gibb rose to fame in the late 60s with hits like To Love Somebody and Massachusetts. While the following decade, the Bee Gees helped to make disco music a global phenomenon with their Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. But keep in mind, they are not a disco band. In 2013, classic rock fans mourned the death of 74-year-old keyboardist Ray Manzarek. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer co-founded The Doors in 1965 alongside Jim Morrison, Robbie Krieger, and John Densmore. In addition to his work with the influential LA group, Manzarek co-founded Night City and later formed Manzarek Krieger with his former bandmate. In 2007, with their heavy metal anthem Hallelujah, Lordi became the first Finnish act to win the Eurovision Song Contest. And in 1967, the Beatles fans in the UK were given a sneak preview of the band's new album, Sgt. Pepper, Lonely Hearts Club Band, when can he ever premiere nearly every track on his radio show Where It's At? The track A Day in the Life was banned by the BBC Lights due to its perceived promotion of drug use. Then we got some birthdays. And we have a number of birthdays for May the 20th in the world of music. In 1994, Joe Cocker was born. In 1946, Cher was born on this day as well. We have Jane Wildland from the Go-Go's, who was born on this day in 1958. Here's a name I'm going to try to pronounce. Born on this day on May 20th, 1959, Israel Iz Kanoi Kemawawawoli. I am deeply sorry if I mispronounced that, but that was my best at it. In 1960, Sue Coswell from the Coswells was born on this day on May 20th. From Haircut 100, Nick Hayward was born on this day in 1961. And also born in 1961, Dan Wilson from Sonic. Born on this day in 1972, Busta Rhymes. And Rachel Pletton was born on this day, May 20th, 1981. Those are all of the events that happened on this day. Well, not all, but most, I should say, in the world of music. Those are the big headlines anyway. And that means it is now time for the main event for episode number 69 of the Rock Out Wild Show. And it's an article from Indeed called The 20 Best Practices for Professional Email Etiquette. So let's share screen, and let's go to this article. And this is one of those things I think is a bit of a lost art. I think even though emails are really not much of a thing in today's world, I think it will always be a thing regardless, because every day at work, I always use email in some way, shape, or form. And I think it's important to learn that there are professional levels to write the best emails to people and how you want them to be perceived as. So this article was written by Indeed's editorial team. This was updated February the 27th of this year. We're not going to play the video, but we will go over this article here. It says, you'll learn the best email etiquette tips for the workplace, including how to schedule meetings and what to do when you don't know how to respond to an email. Emails are a primary form of written business communication, so understanding email etiquette in a business setting is essential. In this article, they discuss what email etiquette is, why it matters, and share 20 specific tips to help you master best practices when sending professional emails. Now, I'm pretty sure you're going to know what a lot of these are, but I am going to go over these as well. So what is email etiquette? Email etiquette is the code of conduct used for email communication. It is a standard set of principles that govern behaviors and habits when writing or responding to email messages. Email etiquette can be adjusted for a particular audience or purpose, but in all cases, it is used to demonstrate professionalism and respect during the exchange of email communication. Now, why does it matter? Why does email etiquette matter? Well, adhering to proper email etiquette is important because the way you communicate reflects who you are as an employee. It enhances the positive impression you make on colleagues, supervisors, and potential contacts, and demonstrates your professionalism and attention to detail. Using proper email etiquette allows for effective communication that is streamlined, concise, and purposeful. Here are the 20 professional email etiquette tips. Now, these are the so these are like the speed runs before we get into the details. Here are the 20. Identify the goal of your email. Consider your audience. Keep it concise. Proofread your email before sending. Remember to follow up. Include a brief, concise subject line. Use a professional and appropriate greeting. Include a brief, concise instruction. Use sentence case in your email. Keep your tone professional. Use positive language. Stay away from emojis. Perfect your email signature. Or perfect, I should say. Use standard fonts and formatting. Email from a professional address. Double check any attachments. Be cautious when using reply all. I've seen that happen before, many times. Think before forwarding. Use BBC appropriately. Start new email threads for new topics. So the first one here is identify the goal of your email. When preparing to send an email, begin by identifying the purpose of your message. It is to book a meeting or follow up on a previous discussion. Being clear with your intention ensures that the message stays direct and concise. Keep it short, simple to the point, or it could be long as well, depending on the context, I think, as well. The second one, consider your audience. The tone of your email depends on your audience. Be sure to customize your email to reflect the recipient and consider how they will read it. Again, I think this applies to anything. If it's professional, consider your tone. And if it's for something for fun as well, consider your tone as well. Keep it concise. A professional or work email is not the place to recount your weekend adventures. Stick to the goals of your email and use direct positive language. So that's another thing as well. Don't deviate from the topic. Just stay focused on the topic that you need to focus on. Fourth one, proofread your email before sending. This is pretty much self-explanatory. Proper spelling, punctuation, and grammar are essential when sending written correspondence. After you finish writing an email, read it out loud to ensure that there are no errors before you press and send. This increases the likelihood of catching any mistakes that your eyes may have skimmed over. Remember to follow up is the fifth one. The expected follow-up time to respond to an email is typically 24 to 48 hours. If you have forgotten to respond to an email, be sure to include a short apology and brief explanation before continuing with your response. The sixth one here, include a brief, concise subject line. Include a brief and concise subject line that will increase the recipient's chance of opening the email and help them prioritize it accordingly. Be sure to always include a subject line. Emails with one will show up inbox as no subject might go unread. Your subject line should directly reflect the goal of your intent of the email. For example, if you're applying for a job, you might make the subject line job application for graphic design position, or if you are booking a meeting with your team, the subject line team meeting at 11 a.m. would be appropriate. Use the seventh one here, use a professional and appropriate greeting. So it is considered a professional courtesy to address the email recipient using the title and surname. For example, Mr. Smith or Dr. Jones. If you have a cordial relationship with the receiver, you may address them by their first name. It is also essential to greet the recipient professionally by using dear or hello or good morning, afternoon. For example, you can write Dear Miss Baker or Good Day Betty, depending on your relationship. It is recommended to use the recipient's name exactly as shown in their email signature and stay away from nicknames or shortening. For example, do not assume that Michael goes by Mike or Jennifer goes by Jen, unless you know they refer to themselves in that manner. Now, it all depends who as well. I mean, there's someone in my life that likes to call me Michael, and I don't mind that. I really, really don't. Others call me Mike, and I don't mind that either. It just depends on them. That's all that is. This is the eighth one here. Include a brief, concise introduction. After using a professional and appropriate greeting, it is good practice to include a brief introduction. This gives the reader a general idea of why you are sending the email. You can choose to include a brief opening sentiment, such as I hope this finds you well, or I hope you had a fantastic weekend. This step is optional and depends on your relationship with your recipient. Then provide one or two sentences to give an introduction to the email. For example, if writing about an upcoming presentation, you might write, I hope this email finds you well. Here's an overview of your responsibilities during the sale presentation next week. The ninth one here, use sentence case in your email. So be sure to follow professional sentence structure by capitalizing the beginning of each letter. So let's go over this again. So be sure to follow professional sentence structure by capitalizing the beginning of each sentence and proper nouns. Avoid using all caps, and this is generally interpreted as yelling with written communication. And also consider this: don't capitalize every letter in the first letter of every word in one sentence. I know there are people guilty of that, and I'm not going to say who they are. But that is another thing I think you should keep in mind as well. 10th one, keep your tone professional. When communicating through writing, it can be easy to misunderstand emotion and humor. Be sure to keep the tone of your email professional and to the point. Avoid using negativity, sarcasm, or adjectives that could be misinterpreted as overly emotional. Simply be cautious of using humor that may be misconstrued. The 11th one, use positive language. Be intentional about maintaining a positive tone through your emails. Because written communication doesn't allow for the subtitles of body language and voice inflection, use positive language in the best way to ensure your message reads as friendly and confident. For example, instead of using words such as problem or trouble, consider using words like opportunity or challenge. 12. Stay away from emojis. It is best to refrain from using emojis in professional emails. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. Now, unless you had a prior email conversation with your recipient in which they use casual emojis, they could reflect poorly on your professionalism. It'd be misinterpreted in a business environment. 13th one, perfect your email signature. Having a clear and well-formatted email signature leaves a lasting impression. Your signature should include your full name, job title, company website, and phone number. A template will usually be provided by your company. Having a clear contact information is essential, particularly if you are searching for a job or working for yourself. Check your email signature on different devices to see how it looks to your recipients and is easy to read. The 14th one here, use standard fonts and formatting. It is tempting to include creative flair when composing an email, but having a font color or formatting that is difficult to read can take away from your desired message. Stick with basic fonts that are black, easy to read, in between 10 points and 12 point size. Examples of basic professional fonts include Arial, Cambria, Georgia, and Times New Roman. Use bold italics and underline formatting sparingly throughout the body of the text, and only to emphasize the most important aspects of your message. When copying from another document, be sure to clear formatting before pasting the information into your email body, as it may look different from the rest of the message. To clear formatting, you can use Command plus Shift plus V, or on a Mac, Control plus Shift plus V on a PC. Number 15, email from a professional address. So you're sending an address can impact the deliverability of your emails. Now, when sending professional emails, always use your company email address. If you are self-employed or using your personal account for work-related correspondence, look into purchasing a custom email address that provides a professional email address that is business appropriate. Many providers offer this for a low monthly fee. A custom email address increases the level of trust people have in messages that come from you and enhance your professionalism. 16. Double check any attachments. Be sure to double check any attachments you've included with an email. It is a good idea to let the recipient know in the body of your email that you have attached a file, and it is curious to compress or zip the attachments to take up less space. If a document is too large, include a link to a secure cloud storage file where the recipient can address the information. Number 17, be cautious with reply all, and I have seen this a number of occasions. The benefit of using reply all is that you can respond to everyone at once. However, this can also lead to dictating a group of people with unnecessary emails. When in doubt, reply directly back to the person who you sent the original email. So on your email, there are two options. You have reply and you have reply all. Do not click the reply all if you don't want it to send it to everyone. Just hit reply to the sender of the email. That's all you need to know. Number 18, think before forwarding. The best practice for forwarding is to summarize what's been discussed so the recipient quickly knows what you're sharing with them. It's also important to keep in mind that some emails are not intended to be forwarded and may contain private or sensitive information, so use caution when forwarding. 19, use BBC appropriately. So BBC standards for blind carbon copy. Any email recipients specified in the BBC field do not appear in the header or to the recipients in the to or CC fields. Using BBC is good etiquette if you want to protect someone's email address from being exposed to others. So, for example, if you email a group of subcontractors about a change in policy or procedure, it is appropriate to BBC everyone on that list. And the 20th, start new email threads for new topics. If you want to address a new topic with a group or individual, begin a new message rather than addressing the matter to an existing and unrelated thread. This method ensures you and other recipients keep communications as organized as possible. So that was the article on the 20 best practices for professional email etiquette that was uploaded by Indeed just a few months ago. And this has been episode number 69 of the Rock Out World Show. I am going to leave you all right now. And on a final message to all of you watching and listening to this all around the world, get plenty of rest and always do your best.